this like a bookmark for it? Waiting for TSG Multimedia. There we go. I guess that would be it. Ooh, hello.
Do I look like I'm caught in the head?
The microphone's in front of my face.
Oh. Yeah,
but
was it on
I'm
the
not
picture,
really
though?
even in it either.
Yeah, it's not on the picture.
You're live.
I know. We're live.
We're live?
We're live, dude.
Oh.
Here's to you, YouTube land. Let's have a coffee toast. Well, here's to the next TSG live thing from the SBHRS. It's TSG live. Webcast live. Oh, this guy, he's got.
Yeah, I'll turn the volume down.
We've got it streaming over here too.
Super duper echo, double echo there.
Can you guys see everybody? Should I get a different chair? The arms on the chairs make it hard to.
I guess we could get different chairs.
Hi, I'm John.
I'm John.
And I'm Nick.
He's John.
John the Third.
John the Third. Nice hands, Nick. There. Here, let me back this chair. I'm going to go get another chair. Even though we're live, that's okay. These guys will talk to you.
We're professionals.
You can see my red shorts that almost got me shot. For people thought I was a gang member.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Let's see here.
So good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
The problem is the computer's so far away. It's hard to read the comments.
How is the train show in Missoula?
Ooh, Montana. Beautiful country.
Big sky.
That's right.
There.
Right.
You guys can scoot in better, I think, a little bit now.
Yeah, well.
Hi, is that better? This is the stuff that should happen before the camera goes on.
Right.
Right? They always say that. They always say that. I always say that 90% of a production is prep work. And it's true.
And we do zero prep.
Right.
Well, we got here on time.
we got here on time. The stream started on time.
We're mostly properly caffeinated.
Right. Prior to the computer being turned on, though, we're sitting here going, wait, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? We do have some stuff to talk about. One thing I'll talk about right off the top, though, since it's a new thing, I announced on the last podcast that there's a Patreon page. And sometimes we talk about on here about lighting up the screen with the super chat thing. But something a lot of people don't know is that when you light up the super chat screen, that YouTube takes 40% of whatever somebody gives you.
Really?
They do. It's insane, right? So instead, you can go to the Patreon page. Nick did. I think you did too, didn't you?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Oh, he didn't go up here.
I'm only on it all the time. And,
you can't be on
doing other stuff for you.
Yeah, no, and it is appreciated.
I understand. Thank you.
Yes,
it's fun.
What I was going to suggest was instead of the super chat, go to Patreon, right? Because they only take, I think, 10%. So, and the Patreon, just so you know, Patreon is patreon.com/TSG Multimedia. That's all one word. So, and it's fun. You can get some cool
he's
stuff.
Worth it.
I'm worth it.
He's
all
definitely
$2,
worth
huh?
it.
Yeah,
he's definitely worth
it. I was just checking. I thought maybe one of our amazing viewers was sending me a message, but it wasn't. So yeah. Anyway, so that was the one thing that I wanted to mention off the top was the Patreon thing. We're coming to you live once again from the SBHRS boardroom. Thanks to these guys. Hey, Nate Jackson, if it's really your birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And stay safe out there, Hardy Johnson, in the hurricane. Hopefully things aren't too bad. Anyway, we're going to do some question and answer, but we'll do that later. We want to talk first about some of the stuff that's been happening around the South Bay Historical Railroad Society. One thing, since I'm talking already, is this guy over here. I don't know. Have you been working on the new extension too?
Not really.
Okay. This guy over here to my left, you're right, has been working a lot on the N scale layout over here on this extension that I think we talked about it once before on a live webcast, maybe a month or two ago. And I came here yesterday for the first time in probably a month to actually run some trains, which you can see on the Facebook page. I put a a quick little video as the Facebook intro on the intro. What do you call it? The front page of the Facebook site or Facebook channel. What do you call that?
It's your cover photo.
The cover photo for the business page. That's what it is. Of some of the stuff that I've been reviewing lately, and one of the models I worked on last year. And as I was walking back to the staging area, I noticed a whole lot of construction that had taken place. So you've been really busy on that, huh?
Yeah, myself and Robin has worked on a lot of it with me. In fact, he's been doing most of the carpentry, and one of our other new members, Bill, has helped with the wiring. We have probably 90% of the bench work done for the new expansion, maybe half of the wiring. I'll be getting foam for the top this week. We'll probably get cork and track down on part of it. Moving right along, hoping to have at least the track down and working for our open house in November.
Oh, wow, cool. That's only like a month and a half away.
Yeah, so we might make it, might not, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm just waiting to hear that all the foam's down and I can come in and start laying the track. And
I'm going to go buy foam today from our other member, Alex, who works for Home Depot. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Alex yesterday.
We did. I hung out with Alex last night.
Yeah, that was good. It was fun. I get so busy that I forget or I don't have time to come down here. And then I come down and it's like, I got to do that more often, Even running trains, I never have time to run trains because I'm always editing videos.
And we left you by yourself to run trains on the N-scale layout.
That's right. I had the whole N-scale layout all to myself. That was pretty cool. I even ran stuff on both lines at one point, but you wouldn't know. These guys are HO scalers now. They're HO. They're hose.
Everything.
Yeah, they're hose. All they do is HO now. Every time I come here, they're working on running HO stuff. So traders.
Oh, geez. Who's building the expansion?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny part about that is sometimes when I've mentioned, I want to bring some HO stuff, I take crap from this guy. Oh, no, you can't run HO scale stuff. You're a trader to the N scalers. Like, hey, man, now who's doing it?
Yeah, but it's okay if I do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like, I'm an idiot, but it's okay because I'm their idiot,
Well, we were talking about getting the shirts that says "I'm was stupid."
Yeah,
that would be funny.
We're gonna get we'll each have an arrow pointing to the middle.
Why didn't you do it?
We're working on it. Well, you're really surprised now.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the TSG shirt design should be, because
But yours will just have an arrow pointing up.
No, it would just say, I am stupid. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, one of the things that we're doing for Patreon is after a certain length of time at some level, I don't remember what the exact numbers are, but after a certain amount of time, you get something like a coffee mug or a shirt. And I'm still working on the design of the shirts. That could be funny. Just be TSG, whatever. I'm with stupid or whatever.
Or I'm with TSG pointing straight up.
Oh. That could be good too.
There you go.
Actually, I like that because
patent pending.
Patreon members are called TSG Train Crew.
There you go.
Oh,
TSG Train Crew.
TSG. I'm with TSG with an arrow. Oh, I like that. Hey,
on the back it could say Train Crew.
Right. We might have our shirt design. Woo! Someone make a note of that. I know this top secret marketing advisor is watching.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down, financial advisor.
Everything advisor. Top secret. So we're going to talk about the open house, right?
Yes.
That's coming up in November.
We got an open house coming up November 3rd and 4th. It's the first weekend of November.
Always is.
It's the first weekend of April. It's $5 to get in. Children 18 and under are free. We'll be open from our normal hours on Saturday, which would be 10 to. Well, actually, no, we'll be open later.
10 to 5.
It's 9 to 5
or 9 to 5.
Show.
Yeah.
Oh,
so the show's 9 to 5 on Saturday. On Sunday, it'll be 9 to 4.
Yep.
Both layouts will be operational. We'll have the tower open for tours. We'll have the rail car open for tours. Let's see what else. We got the operating layouts. We'll have the food cart or the lunch.
All day lunch will be
open.
Yep.
We'll have our public store going. We've actually got a lot of good items in there, railroad related.
We'll have the speeder shed open as well this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
And
Didn't even know that one.
The SP baggage cart will be on display.
That's also cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you already mentioned, but it went past me, the car out here too, right?
Yes, the rail car
will be open. And they've been doing a ton of work on that. So the stained glass windows are in the observation end. The paneling is going in. It's got air conditioning now.
Yeah,
right.
they're,
A bunch of stuff.
They're getting ready to start sanding for staining. So
Very cool. So the open house, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, and there's even, if you look, and I'll put a little link to it up on the upper right corner of the screen here eventually. It takes a while before I can go in and edit videos on YouTube, but I did a open house podcast segment sometime a couple of years ago where we show most of that stuff. And I've always said that the SBHRS open house is one of the better rail events in the area because there's so much history and so much information right here in this building. So, and it's the only place I know of where you can go inside an interlocking tower, right?
Yeah.
So where we broadcast
one of the
from,
few that are still remaining.
right?
It's also, I think, the last one in California in its original location, or one of two. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's one in Southern California, but you can't
No,
get into
that
it.
one actually that one burnt down a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
So we might be the last.
We might be.
Well, anyway, the interlocking tower will also be open. That's always a highlight for me because I love the interlocking tower. That's one of the things. And also, I should mention, I just thought of something else that I needed to talk about. The live webcast. This is the last one we're going to be doing on a Sunday,
Right.
because the poll results from, I think, last month said that people wanted to see the live webcast on Saturday. So we're going to change it to Saturday from here somewhere. And I'm still waiting to find out from this month's podcast poll what time we're going to be doing that. And something else to mention, that it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I usually go out and do stuff on Saturdays that turns into content for the channel. So the times might even vary, from one month to the next, or it might be 1 week instead of the other. So what you'll want to do is pay attention to the podcast when I tell you what's coming up every month. Always on the podcast, I have a segment where I tell you which week is going to have which feature and such. So keep that in mind, and we'll figure out how we're going to do that. But it's probably always going to be live from the SBHRS. We've been toying with the idea of doing it from the interlocking tower, which could be a really cool thing, because you can see whatever trains go by while we're talking. That'd be kind of cool. So anyway,
Yeah, if we face the camera the right way.
all right. Yeah, that does matter. And the other thing that would be a challenge is being able to see the trains, because inside it's a lot darker than it is outside. So probably the windows would just look like a massive light on the camera.
Yeah.
Human eyes are amazing things, especially when you deal with cameras like I do all the time. Our eyes compensate for so much, and you don't realize it until you deal with the limitations of a camera, how amazing they really are. Even blind ones like mine. So there was something else that you wanted to talk about too, John. That was the upcoming
September 28th, Friday night. We are having Owl Mountain Models come give another manufacturers roundtable presentation. There was just a video yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday's TSG video was about a manufacturers roundtable we did with ScaleTrains.com last year. We're having Owl Mountain Models come on September 28th, Friday night. From the presentation starts at 7 o'clock. It's going to be about an hour. Jason Hill from Owl Mountain Models will be here. He's going to be talking about his new products, talking about his research, and how he finds out, what he needs to know to make really accurate SP models and freight car loads and things of that nature. And he'll be around for a Q&A afterwards. And hopefully he'll have some time to run some of his stuff on our layout here as well. So we'll probably have drinks and light refreshments. I'll be sending out an email to all of our members, but anyone in the Bay Area that wants to come to the presentation is welcome.
Sure. Is there a sign up on the website?
There will be a sign up, but you can also basically get tickets at the door, so to speak. This is going to be a free event, so we don't need to have reservations.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it was going to be a free event. Yeah.
No, yeah, this was going to be a free event, just because of just short notice and everything like that. So come on down and join us, see the layouts, ask questions, and talk to Jason Hill, Owl Mountain Models.
Yeah, I'm considering bringing some cameras down to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure yet if that's going to happen. It'll depend because I have something else going on that weekend that I have to prepare for. So that might end up being our next video of manufacturers roundtables from here. Just depends whether I can get my act together and get the cameras and lights and stuff down here or not. So, but that should be good. I'm looking forward to it. People watching probably, and he was on the Bay Area Prototype Modelers Meet video that came out earlier this year. And he was also our host for the La Mesa Model Railroad Club video layout tour that was done a couple of years ago. That's the huge layout in San Diego, right? With the Tehachapi Loop. He was the host for that video, Jason. So anyway, we should probably move on to some Q&A here, guys, unless you have, do you have anything else, Nick, that you want to mention? Is there anything you're working on that you want to talk about, or models or anything? You got any LED stuff you're doing that you want to talk about, John?
I don't have any models to show. I've been doing a lot of just in sort of industrial around the layout LED work. We have a lot of under layout areas that need lighting, and we have a couple of double deck areas that we need to light underneath. So I've just been getting these LED strips. I've started getting them off eBay because this is a 5-meter LED strip with, I don't know if these are 12 something. They're larger LEDs, so you get more output out of it. 5 meters, which is over 15 feet for $7, a little over $7.
That's cheap.
Yeah, so we have we're going to run these under the layout in a lot of areas since we have a lot of storage under the. These work a lot better than the rope light people used to use a lot of, and we have a lot of old rope light. It's very dim. Yeah. So just be doing a lot of sort of installation of just generic lighting. We're also going to use this in our new display cabinets and some other things. So yeah,
he's an LED guy. Mr. LED. His name's John L. Wiley. L is his middle name. It's for LED. So.
Also doing more Arduino projects. Don't have too many to show those right now, but put one in our fire station on our HO layout. So it looks like there's a color TV blinking in the fire station.
That looks pretty cool.
I got that project from, Model Railroad Hobbyist. They have the whole tutorial on how to do it in the program and everything. So it was really easy to do. Looks cool.
Very cool.
Also planning to do a project that we're going to put lights in a bunch of our railroad lanterns in our display cases so that they'll turn on and off kind of randomly and kind of give a little bit of life to there, and just something neat.
Also cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do a little Q&A here because I see some things popping up on the screen here. So this is the time when you can start entering your questions for us here. So now don't overwhelm us though, because I have to try to keep up with the scrolling here. Someone says, there was a podcast this month? Owen, there's a podcast every month. It's the first Saturday of the month, every month without fail. Has been for, God, probably, a couple of years at least. So someone wants to know my stance on the Kato UP Heritage SD70 Aces. I'm not sure why is that a controversial thing? I think
I don't know.
Well, okay, here's what I'll tell you. If it's a Kato, it probably runs really well. That's what I'll say about that because I haven't really seen them. Will there be a new episode of Chasing Trains? Yes, there will be. Someone says that they missed the early angry me because I don't have my coffee.
Right.
That's funny.
We're making sure he gets his coffee.
Yeah. We make sure to fill him up a lot.
Yeah. Well, I made sure of that. I was in line by myself this morning. Where were you guys?
I already got my stuff.
Yeah, Nick got here early. So there will be at least one for sure because I went out with Hunter Los and Gary Perazzo this past week. Yeah, it was last Tuesday, chasing the Sierra Northern from Oakdale all the way to Sonora and back again. So, and there was a lot of filming for Chasing Trains on that. But also a couple months ago or a month, whenever it was, early August, I think, I went to Ely, Nevada, to the Nevada Northern with Mike Ninneman and Gary Perazzo as well on that trip. And we filmed a bunch of stuff for Chasing trip, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. And I don't really remember what it all was, but chances are that will also turn into a Chasing Train. So I have a bunch of Chasing Train stuff sort of in reserve because what's going to happen is in the winter here, the weather is not quite as good to go out and do stuff. So I'm going to be sitting in my office editing a lot more to put together stuff that I've been filming over the summer. So I got all kinds of stuff coming. And the best way to find out what's coming is by watching the podcast on the first Saturday, like I mentioned a minute ago, the first Saturday of every month, I will tell you what's going to happen that month. So anyway, back to this. Someone's asking my stance on the Kato UP Heritage SD70s.
You
again.
answered that.
That's Owen. Yeah. Owen, yes, we answered that. Did I hear?
They're overpriced. That's what my stance is going to be.
How much are they?
Well, when they first came out, they had decent. You could find them for about 85.
You're talking about the N scale ones.
Yeah, the N scale ones. When they first came out, you could find them about $85, $90.
Yeah, which sounds about right. That's
now because they're out of production, people are wanting 200 plus.
Oh, so like on eBay and stuff?
On eBay.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's overrated. If you couldn't find them in the first run, save your money. Kato will eventually run them again.
Mm-hmm.
They will.
Yeah.
Anytime
they've
you
already
have something,
done 2. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a third coming.
Yeah. Anytime you have something that sells that well, they're going to do it again. You just have to be patient. And what I would suggest, here's my stance, Owen, since you're so curious about this, save your money, have about $150 just in case the price goes up, and just put it someplace under your pillow or under your mattress. And next time Kato releases it, go buy one. There you go. It'll run really well because it's a Kato. Katos run like Swiss watches. The things are amazing.
Yeah, I had one of the N-scale Katie ones, and I wish I'd kept it.
The red Heritage?
Red one.
Oh, I would have wanted that. Did you sell it?
I gave it to him, traded it to him for something.
Oh, do you still have it?
Oh, no, it's long gone.
Yeah.
I made money on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're one of the guys selling it for ridiculous. Don't buy it from him because he thinks it's ridiculous.
No, I've actually taken Heritage units and have stripped them and repainted them.
Before they were rare.
Before they were rare.
Yeah.
I was able to get them. Yeah. Because I started painting. I was taking UPs and stripping them down and painting them into Norfolk Southern Heritage units.
Oh, I see. Right. Dude, you should bring those in sometime and show them.
Yeah, those are not
if you have them. Well, if you have any custom stuff like that, you should bring it in and show it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be cool.
I'm reworking a bunch of stuff, so hopefully probably November's
right.
I'll be able to get caught up and get stuff in.
Okay. Let's keep looking here. Miguel Chavez is asking, when will Chasing Trains return? I'm not sure. I have to look at my production calendar, and it's at home right now. But like I said before, watch the podcast on the first Saturday of the month, and if there's a Chasing Trains that month, you'll know about it. Because I know a lot of people really like Chasing Trains a lot. So as often as I can, I'll put one out. Just I don't get out as much as I was before because we were trying to do that once a month, but I don't do it once a month anymore because it's too much work. So, I mean, considering how many other videos I have to work on, I just don't have time for it. So one thing I am pretty proud of, though, I want to mention 2 things that are happening next week. Because on Saturday, the next Model Railroading 101 comes out. And that one's about JMRI again. But people asked the last time JMRI MR 101 came out, they said, oh, we want more JMRI episodes. So I made one where I will show you how to connect the track to the computer with a USB interface that this guy gave to me. And then I speed match 2 locomotives on a circle of track on the table using JMRI. And I show you how to do all that stuff. So you're going to get something that's pretty hot topics because I know a lot of people on Facebook ask about speed matching all the time. And a lot of people don't even understand why to speed match. You know, I should have talked about that on the video, but I didn't. Well, anyway, I'm talking about it now.
You can add a blurb.
Yeah, well, the reason to speed match is because if you have 2 locomotives and they don't run at the same speed, but you want to work them together as what they call a consist on a train, they won't work right because one's pulling harder or pushing harder against the one that's going slower. It doesn't work. So if you speed match them, they actually work together like they do in real life, like a multiple unit train. So that's why you speed match. So somebody wants to know here, do you guys have an opinion on the imminent? Imminent is what they're saying. Manufacturing crisis that could be like the one in 2012 or with companies like Athearn. My understanding, model trains, Scrumptious Model Trains. Now that's an interesting name. My understanding is that most of the manufacturers who have been affected by the AFFA, which is the name of the company, or AFFA, I'm not sure how they say that, but most of the companies are already working on their replacements. They just have to retrieve their tooling.
Mhm.
And my other part of that understanding is that the company itself didn't just disappear.
Right.
The guy who retired, who owns the company, is still there, and they still talk to him. So as far as I know, nobody's having any trouble getting their tooling back. So it shouldn't be quite as dramatic as what happened in 2012.
Yeah, my understanding from what I heard on that was it's a family-owned factory.
Mm-hmm.
The father retired. The kids didn't want nothing to do with the factory. Spoiled brats.
He just wants the models to continue.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
But they decided the kids didn't want to do it, so they decided to shut the factory down.
The kids just want the money from it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so the manufacturers are getting their tooling, and they're just finding new locations in China to start doing production.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my understanding is it's not going to affect them like it was before. So have you heard anything about that, John? Or?
Just what you said.
Yeah.
Same thing, that they're closing. They didn't disappear. They're
Yeah.
moving the tooling. There'll
Right.
be some delays, but
Right. It's
they'll
just
move
going to
forward.
be delays in
yeah, there'll be a
whatever
couple of
announcements
months
they've already
delays
had.
probably on manufacturing. Yeah.
Yeah. The manufacturers that I know that have been affected by that are, and now it's possible they're downplaying it. Maybe it's more severe than what they've said, but the best information I have is that it's not going to be too disruptive.
I think a lot of the I think most manufacturers have gone through troubles in China's previously
Mhm.
and have sort of learned, they've learned from the experiences. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's quite the same. No one knows what to do, or it's not like someone they got caught with their pants down or anything, right? But
They're not putting
that expression.
They're not putting
Yeah.
all their bread in one basket.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, I know for sure that Atlas only had some N scale stuff made in that factory. They have other stuff that wasn't even made there. So,
Right.
which is a good idea, I think, for anybody, if you can, to diversify that kind of stuff so that if something does shut down, they're not all going to shut down. It's highly unlikely.
Mhm.
So, Nathan DeLay would like to know if we're going to be at any train shows. I saw that a second ago. The only train show, if you can call it that I know I'm going to be at is the SBHRS Open House, because I usually volunteer here for that. So
Right.
that's one train show I'll be at. So you can come down to the open house, right?
We might be walking around the one in November, the one that's supposed to be in San Jose, and not at Pleasanton this year.
Are they doing that in San Jose this year?
That's what I heard.
Oh, well, then we'll probably be at the Great Train Show sometime. When is it? November? Late November?
Late
It's
November.
usually around Thanksgiving. In
Yeah,
Pleasanton.
it's usually the week before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Well-
might be walking around that.
Yeah, well, almost definitely if it's going to be here. I didn't even hear about that. So yeah, we'll be around. Probably three of us will be there. Probably Robin too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So Robin hasn't been on the live cast for a while.
Nope.
Oh, I should mention that this month. Remember, we took a trip to Salt Lake City a couple months ago, right? Was it June or
I
something?
thought that already came out.
No, that comes out in a week. A week
okay.
from this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
So this Saturday is Model Railroading 101. And then the fifth Saturday of the month, that's Wild Card Saturday. It's going to be the trip to Salt Lake City.
Our adventure to the N-Scale convention.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
on
video.
the California Zephyr, which apparently is
Right.
getting discontinued at the end of the year. Amtrak's not running it anymore. I guess because of PTC issues.
Yeah.
That'd be sad.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, because I was planning on taking it to next year for the National Train Show.
Yeah, NMRA conventions in Salt Lake next year. I'm definitely going to that. I don't know if I'll be going on the train, but I'm going
Yeah,
to the
it's
convention.
going to be full, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
that's right. Road trip is probably the way to do it. Something else that I'm doing early October, I'm actually driving out with Gary Perazzo and Mike Ninneman out to not Ogden, but to Promontory. We're going to go see. I've never been there, so we're going to see whatever's out at Promontory. Staying in a place called Brighamton or something like that,
Yeah.
near Ogden, I guess. That ought to be fun.
So you're going to go see a little display. Nice.
Yeah, it's a little display. And I figure that while we're out there, we'll probably check out some mainline UP stuff, because I don't think there's enough in Promontory at that museum. From what I understand, there's not enough to look at there for 2 days. So it'll be interesting to see what we end up doing.
Mhm.
What is your take on Scale Trains products? Let me read some of these because they scroll away. There was one before this that I didn't see or that I saw, but I can't answer because I don't remember what it was now. Take on Scale Trains products. They are exceptionally detailed, and considering what you get, they're also very reasonably priced. That's my take on scale trains. And they seem to run really well too. That's another really good thing about theirs.
Yeah, I've got a couple kits that are in HO. I've got a couple cars in N, a couple cars in HO. They're gorgeous. They weather up real nicely. They roll great. The only thing I personally do is change the couplers.
Right.
Oh, they come with plastic couplers, don't they?
They come with their own coupler.
Yeah.
I prefer scale heads on my HO stuff, so I switch everything out to the KD scale head, but that's just a personal preference. But their stuff is gorgeous. I actually can't wait for their tunnel motors to come out because I'm actually thinking about getting 1 or 2
or 4
or dozen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those tunnel motors are cool too because you can see through. That's the whole draw in those.
Gear tower,
no gear tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is I've seen people who have on YouTube who have modified, but they just take the entire gear tower out of the back, so you're only pulling with the front truck.
Right.
Which I could see that would work, and I wouldn't have a problem with that because it's an excuse to put more power on the front of the train, right? Because you don't have as much tractive effort with just one truck.
Mm-hmm.
But having both of the trucks pulling like that, I don't know. I'm excited about those. Those are pretty cool looking.
From what I've seen from a couple of those scale trains videos that they've done, is the rear truck is actually going to be the gearhead's actually going to be in an angle.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah. So it's going to be kind of an angled drive going into the truck. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so they can have the full opening.
And their N scale engines are amazingly detailed. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Top notch.
Guys, I just saw something on here. Robin's watching.
Is he?
He says he wants royalties when I showed the trip to Salt Lake City. Robin, where are you, man?
Well,
you
hello,
should be
Robin.
here. Yeah, you should be here.
You gotta
Robin.
show up to get paid, buddy.
See, and this is right. This is funny too.
Hey, hold on. I thought you had to pay to show up.
Wait, what?
Oh, you did pay to. He paid to show up. Yeah, there's a cover charge to come be on the show here. It's $2 a month.
Yep, $2 a month.
What's funny is that Robin lives close enough that he could show up. He might walk in the door.
Why? You might summon him.
Right. If we're on here long enough, he might walk in the door before you know it. Oh, okay, so let me see this. What's your opinion of Bachmann's MSRP games? Scrumptious model trains. Well, I'm not sure what that means. I can tell you that if you go to online places or to brick and mortar train shops, you can usually get pretty deeply discounted prices on Bachmann stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which
is better, pre-made track or just track that you have to ballast? Well, it really depends, Ian. Veggie is Ian. I think what matters most there is if you're good at laying your own track and what your goals are. Like for me, I don't have a layout right now, so I just set stuff up on my table. And in that case, the prefab stuff is really the best.
Yeah, at home, my test track is Kato Unitrack in both for HO and N, so I can do my programming and testing.
Right.
But I prefer for N scale, I prefer Atlas Code 55 as if I'm going to lay track. Here at Depot when we go to lay track at N, it's the Atlas code. I think it's code 83. In N, we use HO. We lay code 70. But if you're looking for something to set up to be able to test run, or I know people that have their own personal layouts done with Kato Unitrack. I know clubs that have done Kato Unitrack.
Mm-hmm.
The track's pretty much bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple wiring and everything else.
Yeah.
But I personally like hand laying, or not hand laying. I haven't tried that yet. But I personally like laying track and ballasting just because you get more of a realistic look out of it.
For sure. Yeah, because not all track conforms, real track, prototype track, conforms to the pieces you can get.
Yes, correct.
But I want to mention something about that. Roy Smith, he has a YouTube channel. It's Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision. Yeah, he's an N-scaler who lives in Panama, right? Panama Canal, Panama. and he ballasted his Kato Unitrack.
And it looks gorgeous.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I've got a friend up in Union City that he ballasts his own Unitrack, and you
can do it, right?
Yeah, you can do it. And with his, you really can't tell that it's Unitrack. But I like close tie spacing. Unitrack's got a little bit spaced out because it's more of a Japanese prototype track, but it works great. You know, the Bachmann stuff I've seen works. I've seen NHO works good. My nephew's got the Bachmann track in N. It's okay. I've been replacing his stuff out every once in a while with Kato track if he wants to expand. But yeah, I mean, it's best of both worlds. It's all what you prefer. If you want something just easy, set it up and run, go with the prefab track. If you want to spend some time in laying track and detailing it up, go with the regular track that you got to lay down on cork and ballast.
Right. There's two other things. There's another guy who's a pretty well-known N scaler. I think he lives somewhere in the Southwest. Mike Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
And
his club layout
New
is all
Mexico.
Unitrack.
Yeah.
He has a channel, a YouTube channel that I've actually learned a lot of stuff from. And he takes Kato Unitrack, and he has a video about this where he cuts it,
Makes it flex track.
and turns it into basically flex track.
Chart on how to make any radius with like using all the different pieces. And he's got a lot of great info about it.
If you find resources like that, and there are a lot of YouTubers, I would really suggest to look on YouTube for this stuff because, I try to bring as much of that kind of stuff as I can. And, the production value is probably going to be good if I do it. I'm trying to think of how to say it and not sound like a dick here. And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody else's, but the ideas out there are really good. And if you can pick up those ideas, you'll learn all kinds of stuff just right here on YouTube. So I would definitely suggest to watch as much YouTube as you can because you'll find that stuff out there. This guy watches everything. I mean, I'll say, oh yeah, you tell me stuff that I thought I found something obscure because they only have like 10 subscribers. Like, oh yeah, I saw that. It's like, oh dude, did you see this? Thinking I'm going to impress him with some new things. Like, oh, I've been watching that guy for years. He's one of the 10 subscribers.
I need to get out more.
Maybe that's it too. And then I was going to say something else about the Unitrack. I don't remember what it was now, but whatever. If I think of it, I'll mention it. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Someone says Bachmann has been inflating their MSRP.
Oh yeah.
And then charging $50 more on the old stuff, basically. Yeah. What I think is that if it costs too much and you can't get it for the price that you want to buy it, if you really want it, just save up for another week. If it's not that important to you, just don't get it, right? I mean, you don't have to buy stuff or used, right? I mean,
and it's not just Bachmann. I mean, I was having this discussion the other day with some members here. I remember when I first started, I used to be able to buy Athearn blue box kits, which not many people remember. Just $3 kit that you can just basically shake the box and it pretty much falls together. Now, the same car ready to run comes with the metal wheels, the knuckle couplers and everything. Athearn wants $30 for.
Or more.
Right.
Or more. Depending what it is, right?
But also the detail and construction of the car is much better. The printing is better.
Oh, yeah.
The colors are better.
Everything's gotten better.
Grab irons are better. Everything.
And so, you're pretty much, you've got to pay to play.
Yeah, and you're basically paying for the labor, right? Because someone has to put all that stuff together.
Yeah, exactly.
And frankly, a lot of the stuff I've seen, the paint jobs on the stuff, and like you're saying, John, the detailing on it, they have fine wire grabs, for example. A lot of stuff comes with Katie's already installed couplers,
right? Or equivalent,
right? Which a lot of people, that's their standard. So they'll spend what does a Katie coupler set cost nowadays? A
couple of bucks, but it's a couple of bucks for them to buy it and then put it on the models and everything else. So
exactly. And like you're also saying, the printing onto the models. I mean, even recently, I've done product spotlights or N-Scale Fridays where I put on that magnifying visor and I'm looking at this stuff that I can't even barely make out as even being there, and you can read it.
Like, the N scale lettering on
right?
those exact rail cars.
Yeah.
You can read all of the lettering. It's crazy.
It's pretty amazing what they are able to do. Now, there's another sort of side to that, and I see it on Facebook all the time. I think it's older guys that are into the building thing, and they're really angry because everything costs more, and it's not about modeling anymore or something like that. They say that, well, we used to have to build that, and now you can't build it or something, and it's really complaining. And I look at that and I think, well, it's true. You know, the stuff you can pull out of the box and run it, and it's ready to go. I mean, you might have to make some minor tweaks like adjusting the coupler height if you're finicky about that kind of thing. But I look at that and I think, well, yeah, but you can still find kits. If you really want to build stuff, you don't have to buy pre-made stuff.
Yeah, I've personally got a stack of kits sitting at home that I've been too lazy to build.
So do I. I have a laser cut wood caboose kit that's just flat wood I have to put together.
Yeah,
right. And here's the other thing too: if you're that hardcore of a modeler, why don't you scratch build it? That would be a real challenge. You can get some styrene and just scratch build whatever you want to build. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not one or the other. You can do both. I think that having this preponderance of pre-built stuff that you can take out of the box, I think is a good thing. It just opens up, you know, for more people to be involved with it if they want to, and if they can afford it. Do you know what I mean? Because if everything were just kits, then the hobby would be a lot smaller, because there are plenty of people who don't have the time or don't have the skill or the space to build the kits or the stuff you need to do all that. Like, I don't have a paint booth and an airbrush, and you know, I have a space that I've made. It's mostly just for installing DCC right now, but you know, it's not one or the other. You can have both, and it's okay. You know, it's just more inclusive, right?
And I think this argument has been around for a long time. I saw on Facebook someone posted there was a letter to the editor or some such thing, I think to Model Railroader in the 50s, about someone complaining that it's all becoming, you know, like the kits, because so much was scratch build. There were all these like kits that were ready to go where you just glue a couple of walls together, and they were complaining that this will be a problem for the hobby, and you know, people aren't going to put effort into it. So I think there's been similar arguments to this as the hobby has gone on, and the hobby's evolved so much because so much of it now, just look at all the LED stuff we were talking about earlier that I've been doing and other people have done even more. Things like Arduinos and other computer-based projects, model railroading. We still have all the painting aspects and the detailing aspects. There's almost, I don't know if you would call it a sub hobby or maybe more of an offshoot, but there's the whole, Ken Patterson covered this in one of his recent videos. There's the whole 187th, you know, basically HO scale vehicles hobby and group. And I mean, they're doing amazing things, and they're HO scale vehicles, but you know, there's people in that hobby that have really nothing to do with trains, but it's a whole world unto itself.
Oh yeah.
So
there's even in N scale, there's the whole people that model vehicles in N scale.
Right.
There's people that do scale 1 to 300 ships.
Yeah. One of our friends has a model company. He's doing aircraft carriers, and they're huge, and they're 1/300th, but they're still, you know, like 5-6 feet long.
Yeah.
Someone's asking here something about. Sorry, was that? I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. That was sounded like a break in the talking there. It says here, what you just said about things being ready to roll nowadays, pretty much how society works. Yeah. So this is what Lactrix, I think I'm trying to read this from here. I can't see that.
Lactrix
is saying that he'd have zero time. He or she would have zero time to build. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
There are a lot of people who don't. I mean, people work so much, you know. Especially
here in Silicon Valley, you know.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, I'll be honest, you know, some of the ready to roll stuff is nice. I can literally take it out of the box. I do a couple minor adjustments and then weather the car and put it on the track.
We were talking about this the other day, talking about pricing. You know, I've been picking up some older Stewart engines for HO just because I've enjoyed putting sound in them, putting lights in them, putting all the details on them. But I looked at how much time I spent on one recently and how much money I put into it with like a sound decoder and a keep alive and speakers and everything. And then I look at the cost of one that's already done, and it's probably within $20-$30. You know, and so for an extra $20-$30, I saved myself
$30 less.
Right. It saves me a whole day of work, so that if I haven't as much time, I can enjoy it. You know? Yeah. You can always screw around more with it later too. You want to weather it or change something else on it.
Do you know what it sounds like to me? It boils down to is that some people would rather spend their time building stuff,
Right.
and some people would rather spend their time running stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we know these people. Like my friend Jack Burgess is a builder. He has the most amazing layout,
Right.
and he never runs it, or hardly ever. I mean, maybe once or twice a year they have op sessions, right? Like the one that came out recently.
Well, and when I was up at Soundrail in Seattle, and this is one of the things you put out on Wiley's Wanderings, I believe it's Tyler. His railroad's the Tenino.
Yeah.
I always get that wrong. And Western.
Tenino. Tenino.
That's right. Tenino and Western.
And it's a gorgeous N-scale layout.
He loves building it, but he doesn't operate it. So when we were there operating it, his friends helped us operate it, and we were talking to him, and he was like, I just build it. How does it work? You know, I don't run it. Right? No, and he's made changes based on how things shook out, you know? Yeah.
That's a great example too. Is he built this thing just like Jax? He built this amazing layout, and you know, he'll run stuff for the camera. When we're making videos or whatever. But
Weber model railroad
stuff.
Welcome. For your first time here, welcome.
Oh,
hope you enjoy.
Well, yeah, and I think BNSF 6951, which I believe is Vinny, who I've seen on YouTube, I think as well. Said it was his first time here at one point, so welcome as well, Vinny.
Yeah, well, welcome to all the new viewers, and thanks to everybody else who's a regular viewer. Really appreciate that. You know, I think some of these names on here I've seen on Dave Sparky 107's chat page. Yeah, because there's another YouTuber, right? And
speaking of Sparky 107,
there he is. What's up, Model Railroaders? And John. He knows me.
I thought he was talking about Wiley.
Oh, right. Which John, right? This guy.
Do I know Sparky?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's Dave from Canada.
Oh,
but he's I was just about to plug your channel, Dave. There's Sparky 107 right there. He does a live video every Wednesday evening, and I always miss it because he starts like at 4 p.m. my time, and then I get a notification from YouTube around 5. So I go in there and it's like, oh, they're just finishing, right? But what I was going to say though is I noticed a few of the people on the chat are, I think I recognize from his live webcast as well. But he does some pretty cool stuff. Like I think the first one I watched, he made a static grass applicator out of electric fly swatter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then last time I was watching, he did a tree that was wrapped in like this plaster stuff. Anyway, it's a fun thing to watch because he's just doing stuff, and he's like usually just trying it for the first time. He's like, "Here, I've never done this before," and you watch him do it, and that really appeals to me because I have a little bit of that same approach in what I'm doing. Like when I do a DCC installation, and at the end I always say that if I can do this, you can do it too. Like I'm trying to show people it's not that hard if you just learn something first and then apply yourself. It's, you know, because I've talked to a lot of people over the years who are so hesitant and so reluctant really to do a DCC installation. They would just rather, you know, DC because it's easier. You just put it on the track and then you control it with the amount of power you're putting to the track. But then you can't do all the, you know, the sound. You can't turn on the lights. If it's sitting there, you can't. Well, I guess there are ways to do that too, where you can have the light on all the time. And insert little capacitors and stuff that do that on DC. I know I've seen it. Like,
well, yeah, you could build modules for DC to have backup. Yes.
Let's see what this says here. Oh, BNSF 6951 does live streams too.
You gotta click the show button to show that.
Oh, let me do this. Yeah, if anybody else out there does live streams, put it in the chat over here. You know, I'm really grateful that we've had about 40 some odd viewers the whole time this time, guys, which is a very good showing. That's funny. It's the last one we're going to do on a Sunday, and we got the biggest audience that we usually have here. Someone says here that they have 2 N-scale tunnel portals built out of matchsticks and weathered them with black ink and water. Right, Ian? You can do that. That's one of the cool things about this hobby is that if you're creative, you can have innovative ways to do things. Ballasting track. Have you ever heard of non-scented cat litter? I have heard of people using cat litter, but it seems to me like for N scale, it would be way out of scale. Okay. Just have fun when doing a live stream. You know, Dave, this is Dave Sparky saying that he just tries to have fun. And you do have fun. And I can tell watching you that you're having fun. I think that's really cool. And it's really great. Okay, just have to have fun. Okay, that's what I was reading. How can I learn to use JMRI? I have never used this program and want to learn to use for my Z21. I don't know what Z21 is, but
there's JMRI videos coming out on the channel.
Yeah, so. BNSF Memphis Intermodal or Memphis. I think it's supposed to be Memphis, but I don't know. I don't know that. So yes, there is a video that was an introduction to JMRI that came out in, I think, August or
last month,
July or August.
July or August.
I think it came out in July on this channel, and that was an introduction to JMRI. That's where I showed people Y throttle on my phone and showed how you can make a train move just by hooking it up to the computer and using your phone with Y throttle. Then John talked about Decoder Pro, just an introduction, right? Then we had our friend Murph talk about Panel Pro, which is basically the layout controls, or an introduction to what you can do with the layout controls through JMRI. And then our other friend Ray Turner, who has a massive garden layout, which the layout tour from this month, which came out, I think, last weekend, the same guy did a module about operations, which is part of JMRI as well. I would highly recommend to go watch that video. And if you're watching this on a non-live stream later on, I will put right corner of the screen a link to the JMRI introduction video here so that you can click on that later and take a look at it.
It'll be like over here.
No,
this area. No, like here.
Well, but right this is reversed though. It'll be over here.
Over here.
It'll be up here.
Over there.
Yeah, upper left.
It'll be where it says live.
It's upper left to me because it's reversed on our monitor. It's upper right to the viewers. Okay, so video and watch Model Railroading next week, where I will show you how to connect your. I talked about this earlier, but I'll say it again because I don't think Memphis was here. I'll show you how to connect your track to your computer and run JMRI to speed match two locomotives on a circle of track. So, who are your friends on the
left and
right of you? This is Nice Hands Nick. See? And this is the other John. Yeah. So Nick and John. TSG has a video coming out soon. Oh, Sparky. Yeah. Dave's telling Memphis about that. I do live streams, usually just running random trains for people. Sounds like fun to me. As long as you're having fun doing it, right? Scrumptious model trains, that's good. And the left of you, well, the left of me is John. This is my left. This is my right in real person, in real life here. Again, random spontaneous live streams, Container Man. I've seen Container Man 68 around too. Thanks for tuning in, Container Man. Introduce your train friends again. We did this. I've got the notification.
She's a little behind.
Yes. Well, I am. I'm trying to catch up on the. I read kind of, even with the glasses on, I don't see it so well. Notification of the stream when I showed up. Imagine that I almost an hour late. See, Dave, this is what I'm talking about. I don't get the live stream notifications fast, and I even have the bell on your channel pushed. So you would think it would come on right away, but whatever. One of these days I'll be on time again. Okay, I saw a train that had all brand new hopper cars. At the end, there was a boxcar and it said, think. That sounds like the kind of graffiti I would make if I did graffiti. Okay. Have I ever thought about non-American models? Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Talk to some of our members about that.
Yeah, there's a guy here named James and another guy who runs mostly HO called Gunther. And they both have a lot of exotic models. So
European prototype mostly. Yeah.
Right, European. Yeah. There's somebody else I know who's into Australia, and I think it's Marty. Remember Marty? We went to the so yeah, I would love to do non-American trains because I know that we have a fairly large out of the States audience too. So a lot of people in the United Kingdom and a lot of people down under watch this channel. And I want to do something for those viewers. I just have to find the time and 2, the models. So, but it can happen, and it probably will at some point.
Speaking of Down Under, great modeling and Australian prototype is Luke Towan.
Oh, sure.
Luke T.O. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel, great videos on how to make dioramas and all kinds of scenery. In fact, I want to use his technique for doing realistic smoke on a model.
Right.
Have some applications for that.
Yeah, he's an amazing modeler.
Yeah, he is.
I've seen a lot of his stuff, and the stuff that he does is very time consuming, but the results are pretty stunning.
Some of it is, and some of it's not too, not like months or anything like that either. I mean, he has some stuff that's like really straightforward. You can do.
Yeah. His videos are very well done too. I mean, he takes something that to me looks like it probably took him a week and condenses it down into a 20-minute video, which is how this works. I mean, that's right. That's pretty much how making videos works, unless, and this is one of the things that we'll be doing when Jason Hill comes out. We were talking about this earlier about the what do you call it?
Manufacturers
roundtable.
Yeah.
That we're doing here this Friday or a week from Friday. When he comes out, we've already got this plan. He's going to come over to my place during the day, and he's going to, I think, show the wood loads and how to build them and how to detail them. And he's going to have them in various stages of completion.
Oh, cool.
Right? Nice.
Cool.
It's like a cooking show where they get the turkey ready, and then they pull one out of the oven that's been in it for 5 hours to show you this is what it's going to look like, so you don't have to wait there for 5 hours, right?
But sometimes that's the best part, is waiting the 5 hours.
Well, so then you drink on the couch, watch your football, and fall asleep, and then it's dinner time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, but for video, it's not great.
Oh, well, yeah.
I want to mention something before I forget it. This coming Saturday at the Western Railway Museum, that's in Rio Vista Junction, right? I think it's really Sassoon City, the zip code. But they're having something called Members Day. And I want to mention this because Mike Neneman's a very prominent member there who does a lot of the social media stuff and has posted things to the TSG Facebook page about this event. And I want to make it clear to people watching, if you're in the area, to go to this, because it's not just for members. Even though it's called Members Day, this is something that the public is welcome to. It's actually a pretty big event for them, and they're going to have a lot of the equipment that doesn't normally run working that day. So you can see stuff that you usually don't get to see, and that most people who go there don't get to see. So, and I don't remember the time on that, but you can go to WRM.org, if I remember correctly. It's WRM, Western Railway Museum.org, to get more information on that, times and all that. And then while you're there, they're trying to get people to be members, and they have sort of an after party type thing for members. So if you go and you want to stay later for the barbecue or whatever it is, that's what it was last year, you can become a member, and then you can stay for the after party thing. So that's something important to know about. And I did talk about that during the podcast, but I'm really trying to promote it because it is a really good event.
It's next weekend, right?
It is next weekend. And if you're into traction, then it's a really, really even more so cool event. So let's see here. We probably should wrap up here pretty soon because we've been going for an hour. The audience is getting bigger. I thought it would be going down by now, but it's actually getting bigger. But let's take a couple more questions and answers, and then we'll take off because we have other stuff to do here. I'm trying to love the TSG channel. Thanks. Is it Weber Model Railroad or Weber, like Weber Valley? Just curious. I walked some abandoned tracks today. Okay, well, that's cool. I use text-to-speech at Vegas. Not sure. Do you know if any 3D printing would be good for printing things like rock walls or hills? Oh, I bet it would. I've never thought about doing rock. I mean, rock walls are pretty easy to do with molds, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much sell the rock molds. But was the question 3D printing them?
Yeah, someone wanted to know if 3D printing would be good for that. I think it would be cheaper to get molds, wouldn't it? Because
it actually would be cheaper to get molds. 3D printing still is very expensive, and most places will only do like 9 inches. So
right.
Depending on the wall, it can be very expensive.
Yeah. So
and plus, when you cast, you can add color.
Sure.
To it.
Into the mix.
The mix, yeah.
So you can start off with a brown or gray rock face, then you only have to highlight. Is that kind of what you're getting at? Yeah. So there we go. Someone wants to know if we're going to the 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike. Right now, I have plans almost certainly to be there. I don't know with whom I'm going yet, because I've had several people comment saying, hey, we should go do this. And I mean, right now, if I went with everybody who's sort of suggested to go, it would be a bus. So,
like, I know personally, I will not. I'll be able to. I think I'll be able to watch it on YouTube and get a better view.
I thought you were a foamer, dude. You're supposed to like those things.
Yeah, but when there's going to be about a couple 100,000 people out there,
and there will too.
Yeah,
and that's something.
And that's just because of and that's going to be just for the big boy, or no? For the big boy itself.
And they're saying 844 probably is going to be there too.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather watch it on YouTube.
They ought to just call it Foam Fest 21st Century, because that's what it's going to be. It is going to be. And let me tell you something, because someone mentioned earlier about it being a great episode for Chasing Trains. Yes.
But
except for one thing, which is there will not be any Chasing Trains. The roads, everything is going to be so jam-packed full of foamers and people that are just there, because this kind of thing draws people who aren't even foamers.
Yeah,
like,
let's go just to history buffs,
right? Right, exactly. History buffs too.
I know. I guarantee a bunch of my history buff friends in my clamper societies are going to be there,
right?
So yeah, it's just going to be too many people for me.
Yeah. To finish the thought, because I also don't like crowds. Here's the thing, though. This is the 150th anniversary, and it is going to be quite a spectacle. I think just to be there would be worth going. Now, do I expect to get any good video of anything? No, I really don't. There are going to be way too many people, and way too many people who are so oblivious to everything else going on around them, that they're going to be walking in front of the camera and not even know that there was a camera there. It would be,
or not even care.
There's that too, right? So my point is, I'll probably go, but I'm not going to go thinking that I'm going to get a bunch of great video of anything. It'll be a video of the event and of the crowd at the event. It would not be a video of, look, we're following 4014 from Cheyenne to Ogden, because it's going to be probably going to be impossible to do that. So let's look for a couple more questions, and we got to go because it's been over an hour now. I would love to go to 200,000 people exactly. It might even be more. Do you have any tips? This is what I saw that I wanted to do a Q&A for. Tips for for living outside the States, how to get by with building locals, cars. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, I see what they're saying. It's prohibitive, huh?
Yeah, one thing you might want to look into, and it's, I think, at any rate, I do know people that in the U.S. trying to buy, for example, things from Germany. What they've done is they've worked with a company. They would buy things on, let's say, German eBay, and then it would be sent to the equivalent of a post office box in Germany. And there's someone there that then forwards it to the U.S. This does add some cost, but a lot of times, since you're buying it on the local market, so to speak, it's not as bad as trying to buy it just directly internationally through eBay. So for if you're in Sweden, I don't know if this is an option, but you might be able to buy things on, let's say, the US-based eBay and then have it shipped to Sweden. And shipping costs will add up some, but you might be able to find a way that it isn't as prohibitive if you maybe work with the service to do it, or if you have a friend here, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, due to currency differences and just international shipping costs, there's always going to be some additional cost.
I know some guys that I've dealt with in Canada. Oh, here's a U.S. PO box, and it's literally like on the other side of the border.
Yeah, they walk across the border and get it.
And they literally drive down, grab it, and go back.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if that'll work for Sweden or Europe, but could be. You could also see there's a local hobby shop that, if there's enough people interested in foreign equipment, they might be able to get it in bulk cheaper and sell it through local hobby shop where it doesn't cost as much. I don't know. Otherwise, maybe talk to any of the manufacturers that might be interested in shipping things directly. I'm not sure.
Something else you could try, I don't know how feasible it is where you live, but you could become a distributor for one of these companies too. A lot of them require brick and mortar shops. Like, that's why I'm saying I don't know how feasible it is, but you could try that and then get stuff in bulk and then just sell to the local market, to your friends or whatever to make up the difference. You might even be able to build an entire collection that way.
Yeah.
So someone's asking for recommendations about affordable decoders. Hang on.
We got to go, man.
We got to go.
We got to go.
We got to go. We're going to go.
Affordable decoders?
Yeah.
Digitrax.
Yeah,
right.
Really.
Those are affordable.
Straightforward, affordable decoders, Digitrax, yeah.
Okay. I think that's it. We're going to go.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. We'll see everybody next time. If you want to support the channel, go to patreon.com/TSG multimedia. Trying really hard. People are asking me to buy stuff. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, support the channel and we'll talk about buying stuff because right now I can't afford to buy stuff and including tickets to go places. I think we're done. We'll talk to everybody next time. Look for an announcement on the next podcast for when the next scheduled live webcast is going to happen. I'm still going to probably pop on now and again with unscheduled ones. That just seems to be what happens if something exciting that I don't want to wait to tell people about comes up or whatever. And then on the podcast on the first Saturday of October, I'll let you know when the next live webcast is going to be, probably with these guys from here. And hey, we'll talk to everybody later.
A secretly undisclosed location.
That might happen.
We talked about earlier.
That might happen too. that might happen too from the top secret interlocking tower. I mean, the
bus,
the secret place. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, we'll talk to everybody later. Thank you so much for watching. And
Thank you.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Have a great day.
Have a good day, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna bring this closer. Ooh.